What's the recording thing?
Now you're live. So now you should be able to hit it in
On my
just a
Instagram.
second on your Instagram
Okay.
as well. Yep, there it
There we
goes.
go. Yep, I see it. My face be looking crooked on here. I don't like it. But whatever.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
It do. It show my missing
Happy
tooth on the
Thursday.
side. Oh, look
Yeah,
at the camera.
y'all just touch and agree and pray for Jair
Always.
in his screen child of God. Hey y'all. Happy Thursday. I hope all is well. And that
Okay.
y'all been having a great week. This week has been weekend. It's been a busy. These last 2 weeks have been really crazy for me. But hey, y'all. Hey, Moss. You over there on Instagram with us.
Mm-hmm.
So thank y'all for always joining us every week
Mm-hmm.
after week. And those of you who have started signing up on our Bible study list, so I've been seeing people signing up. So super excited about 2026 and what that's going to look like. I'll make sure that I share the link as well um, as we're live and all the things. So if you decide you want to join us in
Mm-hmm.
our Bible study group, y'all let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all come
Mm-hmm.
on in the room. Jer, how you doing? It's good seeing you.
It's good to see you too. I know you was traveling. You was traveling, doing all the things. Man, I'm good. I feel like I've been really tired this week. Um, there we have the gray season, which I love. People hate it, but we've been having a lot of rain to whereas there's been a bunch of evacuation areas that have been flooded,
Mm,
which I've never experienced since I've lived here. So yeah, so that's it's been just super gloomy and rainy. So I just been really tired.
Tell
And
the people where you at again, because I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna be the one to say it. Tell them where
no,
you at.
tell me you live in Seattle. Go ahead, Seattle. Say it.
No,
Say it.
you tell them.
Don't be embarrassed. You is who you are. That's the word. You is who you are.
See, you done been around me too long. Now you
Those
just
was
get
already
all
there.
kind
You
of
just brought
broken English.
those. That was
Like,
already there.
it
You
wasn't.
ain't put
It
nothing
just got
new.
there.
No, you
Come on,
didn't.
JR.
Don't get
Here's
no credit.
Seattle, y'all. But y'all
Seattle.
pray, y'all go ahead and pray him down to the south because we don't have all that.
Nah. Mm-mm. I
Don't act
like my
like that.
rain. I like
Nah,
my rain. I
Mama, I
like
know
my
you're on
rain.
Instagram listening, and you have a direct connect with the Father. Go and tell him. Whisper real quick for Jay.
The Lord is like this is home, baby. We love it here.
Come
We
on here
love
for
it
this. Tell us
here.
about the flash flood warning.
Yeah, the flash floods, man. It's been people have been having to evacuate, can't leave
Oh my
certain areas. So yeah, so like my area isn't affected, but
God.
it's still been like super rainy. So I've just been tired and then man, it's just been like an emotionally invested week where I had a prayer this year where I was like, God, I really want to like restore deep connection with my family.
Mm,
I didn't really get to grow up with them in my adult years because when I left home, I only came back a few times and was there for very short stints because I was, doing my own thing. And so, man, just been really diving into my relationship with my siblings, especially my brother that's younger than me, the next one.
mm-hmm.
His name is Jared. If he's watching this, shout out to you, bro. I love you, man.
Hey,
And
Jay.
we just been spending a lot of time together, man, just like deep diving into our childhood and what we missed out on in each other's adult years where we weren't in contact and just like there's been a lot of like grieving,
Mm,
honestly. And my dad hit me up today and which is very rare for him. He's a very strong individual and he was like, man, I really need some encouragement, man. I really want to quit my job. I'm feeling defeated. And so yeah, so after this live, I was like, Dad, I'm gonna call you back and we're gonna sit in that. And yeah, man, so there's been a lot just going on with family right now. And since I'm the second oldest, my oldest brother is going through some things. So I've been like, all right, let me step up and be the older brother and pour into people and to encourage our family and keep us together and check and make sure people have the support that they need. Um, yeah, so it's been a beautiful week, but it's been a heavy one though for sure. But I'm
yeah.
thankful for it. Heaviness is a great thing to go through when people are walking together. So yeah, that's where we at.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being so vulnerable with us and sharing that as well. Tell them
Mm,
I said hi.
who said that? Who's you just said that, or somebody in the
I
comments said
said
that?
it. I said
Tell your family I said
yeah,
hi.
tell them I said hey.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I do this. I do Jared this all the time. Yeah, I be wearing him out all the
No, she
time.
don't. You don't never wear me out. You're an enjoyment. You be cracking me up though.
Oh, good. You
But
know.
but if they see you on this live, that's where they gonna say hi at though. Say
Oh,
hi while they see.
shut up. I can't stand you. Y'all, pray for Jared. Y'all don't be acting right.
I'm always acting right.
No, you're not. You're
Right side
absolutely
up.
not.
But right side up. But on Christmas Day, we going back to the upside down. I'm just saying for my Stranger Things fans. Y'all know where we going.
We are okay. I have gotten into Stranger Things.
You're welcome.
Thank
I
you.
told you.
You did. I'm in episode. No, I'm in season 3, and so
Oh, you already in season 3?
stop playing with me. I gotta have it
It's a
done by
drug.
December 22nd.
It's a drug. You can't just watch one episode
No,
because
y'all don't watch.
they're such cliffhangers. You like, I gotta see this through with them because you in the upside down with them.
You are.
I'm with these kids. Come on, y'all.
We
Where
are.
11 at? We need 11. We need
do.
11.
We do. I'm mad that my child watched it and didn't tell me. And so, like this morning, after he cooked breakfast, we were able to like kind of debrief about.
Yeah. Oh, he's into
like,
it
don't be
too.
going too far. My oldest
Yes.
is.
Listen,
Yeah, my oldest is.
I love that. It's a family affair. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
dope.
I'm grateful for y'all. I'm grateful for those who are with us. Oh, let me make sure I share the link too. I dropped the link as well for our Bible study group that'll be coming up in 2026. So
yeah.
y'all just pray a calendar invite on Jeremy's schedule. I'm getting it all in. I'm getting it all in.
Look,
Yes.
it don't matter. Look, whatever my weaknesses are for scheduling or infrastructure, one thing y'all ain't never got to worry about is I'm gonna be there.
Now you know what? You gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
You gonna be there.
How I got there is one thing, but I am gonna be there. That's all you need to worry about.
Y'all get to see this is how Jeremy and I are on the phone. That's not normally how we are.
Man,
on the live.
It's a beautiful thing to be as you are with people, man. Isn't it a great thing to have? Yeah, it's amazing.
It is. And today that's our topic too.
Listen, when I say Pastor Greg been listening to our podcast because what he been preaching about in relationships. Yeah. Yeah, he been listening to Unmute Your Mic when we been producing because bruh, he came with it on Sunday because he don't preach about relationships. He is not one of those pastors that's like all about marriage and relationships. He is all about revealing the Father in the life of Christ, and he's like everything is found in that. Like if you sit in that, it will bring everything into the place it needs to be, which I agree. But it's been beautiful ever since we've been doing this podcast, and before when I was doing the design podcast. I noticed that whenever he starts connecting with our content, he starts getting into relationships. So yeah, I'm gonna send y'all a link, man. Y'all gotta tune in to my Pastor PG, bro. I'm telling you, you've been listening. That thing right there that he been talking about, it will heal everything regarding relationships. What he is talking about, it is the end all be all. It is the source. It's the foundation of what everybody is looking for. It's found in the truth that he's preaching. It's not a sub healing. It's not a partial healing. You'll need to go listen to no more service. Just that and that alone will do the work. I promise you. That thing is fire. So shout out to PG for supporting our podcast.
Yeah.
And then showing us what it looked like to reveal the truth in his manner.
You sound like you.
Yes, my God. Yeah.
Definitely shout out to him. And where is he located?
I don't listen. Let's not
come on and tell the people.
He's in Slidell, Louisiana.
No. Don't slide your mouth to the side.
He's in Slidell, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
He in Louisiana.
Oh, okay. The great
state. God got me where He
Well,
needed me to
we're not starting that today, but the people are going, y'all just pray for Jared. Uh,
be. This is what happens. So like normally we dive in by now, but like Lauren and I haven't been talking because she's been busy and I've been busy. So like we treat y'all hanging out with us while we kind of having like a catch up call, but we about to go live. I promise. It's over.
going live.
Thank y'all for letting us have that intro in that space again. It's good to see you, Lauren. Welcome back to the podcast. Um, I'm so excited for today. This last episode.
I'll drop the link in the chat for y'all who haven't listened yet.
I'm just gonna say this. I know they gonna kill me in the comments for this.
What did they go kill in the comments for this?
I'm just saying. I'm always saying like what Pastor Leviticus be saying. Shout out to him, man.
Oh yeah,
But
shout out to our friend Pastor Leviticus.
man, when I say that thing, it was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
The clip you shared was really like the thesis of everything. Like everything was surrounded around that revelation
Yeah.
of why we desire connection but are afraid of being seen. Lord, I ain't gonna lie, you've been tearing this relationship series up with these titles. And if these people get drawn into the sunken place, I will let you know it's your fault. Lauren setting y'all up to really die so y'all can become a new creation. Ain't leaving nothing left over. No scraps, no residue,
Because why?
no crumbs.
Because why? Why they need
Right?
that? We just trying to help the people of God. I just want people to have like
Yeah.
really great, thriving, happy relationships. That don't add sorrow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so no, I thought that clip was a really, really good clip.
Yeah. Tell me what your thoughts were about the last episode and what you received from it.
So a couple things. One of the big things I received from it was, and you didn't say it this way, but it was what I walked away with. And y'all let us know what y'all listening to as well as y'all put in the chat. I want to know what people from. But it's around giving people too much power. And you were talking about how when we lack vulnerability and intimacy with God, it's hard for us to have it with people. And so what I took from that was what internally starts to happen is that we start to try to protect our image versus aligning our identity with Christ, right? And so what that turns into is us not fully being seen in our relationships and really getting the fullness of the relationships, enjoying it in its fullness, because we're only bringing partial. And that's kind of the biggest struggles with relationships, is that we like to bring pieces but we want to leave whole, and that's not really how that goes. And so when you only want to bring a little piece, a little sprinkle of Jesus, a sprinkle, you just want to sprinkle and tinkle, well, this is why you're not getting everything you want.
I know you did not just say sprinkle, tinkle.
That's what we want. And so then they're not having these full experiences, and so then they start treating people like band-aids. This one don't stick no more. Let me go over here to something else. Let me just get a new band-aid, right? Versus fully bringing themselves to the relationship, and being able to actually enjoy the fullness. So I feel like when we invest zero and expect to get a rate of return, that's wild. Like that's wild work. When you give zero, I don't care if the interest rate was 20%. If your investment was zero, you still gonna get zero. So if you want plenty, you have to give plenty. You have to be willing to bring that. And I just don't think that people are always willing to do that. And so because they don't do it with God, they won't do it with people. And so then the last thing I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna plug this because I just started reading it. Now that I got my life back, is this book right here. It's called How to Know a Person: The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen by David Brooks. And this thing is fire. So I've started it. And he talks about something very similar to what we talk about around being seen. And in it, he says, one of the biggest issues that we have is that we are trying to see people with just our natural eyes. And if you're just trying to see people with just your natural eyes, you'll never truly really see them. And the way to truly see people is to be curious about them.
That sounds like something. That
So
sounds really
this how
familiar.
no design.
Familiar.
Here it is so well.
David know what he talking about right there.
Like curiosity is somebody love language. So, the more you remain curious, the more you're able to truly see people deeply and to also be seen deeply. So if y'all struggle with that, I would definitely say tap into this book. But when I saw it, I was like, I had to get it.
Man, that's so good. God, that's so good. I want to go back to what you said with investment. And if Stacy is watching this, Stacy said something to me yesterday. We were having a conversation, and she revealed something to me that I told her I was going to think about. And Stacy, I want to let you know God has spoken to me, and I'm going to share it with you because it ties along with all of this. It's really powerful, and I'll share it with you later too. When we talk about investment, because that's such a subjective word.
Mm-hmm.
What investment means to you is different to the next person. So when we talk about investment in the way that God designed relationship and connection, God is the investment. And if God is not the investor investing into me when it comes to relationship, to procure all that I need and all that I'm supposed to experience to know what relationship is like, I will always go into relationship trying to pervert and create it into something that it was never made to be.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a belief system and if I'm longing for an investment that I want to give or receive that causes the other person not to be seen and that causes me not to be seen, then that means that I do not understand what connection is.
Mm-hmm.
But Lauren, as we talked about on the podcast, because we have allowed our life experiences to define what love should be and what we should believe it to be, we never put what we believe about love and all those things under question to really test and see if it's true or not. And we're bringing people into these definitions and belief systems and ecosystems and visions and dreams and desires and what we're waiting for and what we're fasting for, what we're praying for, what we're hoping for God for, what we're desperate for, what we're doing all these things for. And God's like, you still don't know what it looks like to be in connection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the danger. And the danger of that is that when we come to God and we let God invest himself in us, and we see with the investment of God emptying himself out on us and pouring himself out, and not just those things, but him dwelling on the inside of us and him and us inheriting all that God is and letting God submit to us, not trying to get somebody else to submit to us, but what it's like to receive the investment of God who has everything and needs nothing and saying, I'm going to lay myself down for the sake of you possessing me. And when we come and when we rub up against that, and when we start to interact with that, and when we start to let that animate us and fill us up with a renewed mind in the way that we see things, like you said in the good book, as being able to see things as God sees it, that's to see things spiritually. And then we begin to allow connection to come in such a freedom because we start to see it as it truly was made to be. And so that's a beautiful thing to declare, Lauren, about investment. But so many people have defined investment based on their own understanding. And that's what I think is like, that's what I think is so interesting. Even as believers, whether we know God or not, everything that has to do with relationship, God made. It's
Mm-hmm.
his design. He didn't make it and then left some pieces out and was like, all right, y'all figure out the rest and then we'll just mush it together. If God made connection and connection is formed from where he's always been in his fellowship with the Trinity and of himself, then I find it really peculiar that we don't go to God to ask him what connection is. We desire something that God is the author of, And then we come to want to experience the thing that God authored and don't ask him how he made the thing that he authored.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start authoring it and wondering why it's just this constant stalemate of everyone being afraid of being harmed by each other, of being rejected by each other. And I can't tell you who I really am because I'm afraid of what you'll believe about me with one another, and then wonder why we are all disconnected in the body of Christ and even in humanity. And
Mm-hmm.
so that word investment, Lauren, is everything that you're saying. It's not just something that is a part of normal relationship rhetoric. Man, we could preach about investment for a whole episode for people to really understand when they talk about investment in relationship, what does that mean from God's perspective? Because I don't hear a lot of people talking about what that looks like when it comes to relationship, even in the faith sector. When
Mm-hmm.
it comes to investment, they think it's about what I can do, what this person should do in roles. Well, that has nothing to do with investment.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing. You can have a husband that he's supposed to take his leadership, which is all conservative thinking and worldly thinking, that if he provides and protects and prays for his family, and if he's a man of integrity, and if he's a man of character, then that is a Bible-filled man. And Jesus ain't never said nothing like that. Jesus ain't never said nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And because people are more animated about what they believe about the Bible, PG just talked about this, instead of realize that God is the word.
Correct.
And Jesus is the word made flesh. So it's not about what I've read to believe something. It's about who I see God being as he revealed something in the body of Jesus. That's the word made flesh. And
Mm-hmm.
so we need to start discerning these things. Here's practicality, Lauren, that we always try to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
If you are longing for connection in any form of relationship, even with God, the first step that you have to do is start asking God, God, what is connection to you? And what that does is it shines a light on all things that we've already believed about connection. And the truth that's in him starts to shine a light on the things that were never true in us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the decision to let the truth in him persuade us that this is what connection was always made to be. And guess what happens when we're persuaded by what connection was always made to be and what it looked like for God to say that here's the investment in it. And he is the investment. Then guess what happens when we're persuaded, Lauren? I don't have to guard myself anymore because I'm persuaded about what connection is, and I now know what it's not. And I can't go into something that I know God didn't make. That's the
Mm-hmm.
guard. But because we don't stand in the persuasion of what God believes as the guard over our hearts, now we're the ones that's inappropriately discerning things based on how they invest in us. And that doesn't come from God.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we've done in this time, in this generation, the world has filled us up with so much self information, and we have become such a lover of self that we have become the idols of ourselves, that we are trying to form us from our own image, and we are forming our own doctrines, and we are forming the way that we should be called human. And we have become the author and finisher of self, and it's not God anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're coming into relationships. If you don't have this, based on how I've authored and doctored relationship to be, then you're a person that is not worthy of me. And the things that's being authored and doctored in and of ourselves that comes from the wisdom of this world, and it's not from God, it's the reason why we can't come into connection. And then we're warring with one another when we know the scripture says, for we do not wrestle with flesh and blood. And then we shame one another's gender, whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, whether it's the culture, whether it's the community, whether you're from this country. And so we're in this internal battle with one another, only to realize that we're in battle because we're trying to see someone as though we are God and mad that they're not the creation we desire them to be. And the reason why it doesn't work is because it's not the design. It's not the design. If you keep doing something and just because it doesn't work doesn't mean that the environment is terrible. It could mean that what you're believing about it is in error, which is why it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And we would rather stay in our error than live in the correction that comes from asking God the question, God, if you made this, what is this supposed to look like? And how have you formed me to experience this so that it remains in the design that you made?
Yeah.
You see how we're connecting with God through those questions?
Yes, I do.
You look like you're about to say something. Go ahead.
I was.
Go ahead. I'm ready. I know that face. Go ahead.
Praise God. So I wanted to bring up what Linda dropped in the chat, and I'm gonna share it so everybody can see, like on our YouTube channel and our Instagram. But she said, what I never really knew, even as a Christian, is that God sees me. God sees me, and only He truly knows me and knows who I am, what I need, which is Him, and His love for me, serving me with His life. That was one thing. And then the last thing that she said that I thought was really key was she's quoted as you were talking Ephesians 3:19, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. Best relationship, Him serving us with His love born in us, caring for us, our hearts. He knows what we need that we can't get from others.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that most people don't really know what it's like to be seen by God.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They just don't talk about it.
Mm-mm. You want to dive into that?
I think we should.
You see how that's one of them chambers. let's go into the let's go into the chambers. The reason why people have not come into the fullness of what it means for God to see them is because they have already been told that they're not enough for God.
Mm-hmm.
And to come into the experience of being seen, it's already produced by a fear-based mindset, because if I don't come as something that is pleasing to Him, then I'm not even worthy to be seen. And can I tell you, if I have to be in fear to prove myself to be seen, that already tells you that it doesn't come from God, because God doesn't give us the spirit of fear.
Correct.
Right? But this is theology that has been passed down from the traditions of men that we call Christ, and it's not God. And so the only way that you can fully be seen is to know that I come as I am, not needing to change anything, in the presence of the person that I want to be seen by. And so the first thing that God does is, when He puts on human skin and comes and lives in human form and has taken on all of the plights of humanity, and He felt what you feel in your humanity, Lauren, and all the death that's in you, and all the pain that's in you, and all the fear that's upon you, and all the weight that carries upon your shoulders to be the strength of your own life, that you have to do all these things to keep your life exalted. If you lifted it above your hands, and you can't dare have a moment of weakness, otherwise your life will fall to the ground, and who's going to hold it up? So I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing. I got to keep hustling. I can't take a day off. I got to get to where I got to get so I can have more than enough, so one day I can finally rest. He felt all of that.
Yeah, the pressure.
He felt the weight that we've been all trying to carry. So for God to even come into the flesh lets you know that He sees you.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't something you did to provoke Him to do that. It was always God's desire to be in communion and union with man. It was always God's desire for us to come and be in the midst of His likeness and to experience it within ourselves. So for Jesus to even be a person that existed in the form in which the scriptures declare, it already proves that we were seen before we needed to do anything. God so loved the world that He sent. You know what that means? He saw us. When you read the scriptures about the woman who was caught in adultery, do you not see a person being seen?
Mm-hmm.
When you see the man who was a tax collector and Jesus didn't even preach to him, he just saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And him being seen by God in the flesh. You'll dine with me, though I rob and steal and deny the people what they need. You'll come sit with me and have dinner with me and never utter a word about the thing that I know that is in me. Man, it provoked this dude so much that out of his own mouth, he said, I'm going to give everything I have to the poor. And you don't even see Jesus giving him a word. He's just dining. What was it like to see Judas, knowing that he was sitting at the table, that in his heart, he was the one to betray, and yet he kept him at the table?
Mm-hmm.
God has always saw us. God has always kept us at the table with him. God was always wanting to know what we were feeling that was causing us to look to another lover. He's always seen us. Before you, the way that you come into salvation is that you have been seen. You can't even have salvation without first being seen. Remember that old moment where whatever you heard, whatever thing convicted you or whatever we called it back then, that made you feel like you had to come out of a thing that you know was holding you hostage. And then you felt seen because something pierced through and showed you that there was something beyond what you have always known. Well, you were saw.
Yeah.
God saw you. That's the only way you've come to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we realize that when we come into the seeing with God, guess what that seeing does? It creates connection.
Mm.
You can't have connection without being seen.
And alignment.
You can't have connection without being seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we're practicing in the world and in the church? We're not forming connection. We're forming agreements. Not the same. Agreement and connection are not the same.
Come on, go down.
If there shall two shall agree, so shall they walk together. Agree and walk, two different parts.
Mm-hmm.
The walking is the connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happens after we agree? When we walk and I start to see deficiencies in the person that I'm walking with, then all of a sudden we'll come out of the agreement because we realize the walking exposed deficiency.
Mm-hmm. And of course we can't. Of course we can't walk with you there. Now we can't
walk.
Now we can't walk. The deficiencies be getting us every time.
Listen, can I tell you the agreement that listen? And here's the beautiful thing. This past week that I've been walking out with family, the agreement that I've made with God, not even with them, is God, I want to love them the way that you do.
Yeah.
And because that is my desire, will you show me how to walk in connection with them so that they know that I don't condemn them? Because I'm one of the few, I'm one out of our 5 siblings that have lived a different life than everybody else because of the hand of God that's just been on my life that I've surrendered to. It's been different. Not that it's better or worse, but it's just been different. Correct. So when I'm speaking with them, I'm so quick to be aware that I'm not here to condemn you. And you know what I did in most of these conversations, Lauren, which was a grieving but beautiful moment? I apologize because I've spent so many years pouring into so many people around the world that I didn't even get to pour into them in a time that I found out they were going through the hardest things. And I didn't even know. Yeah. I didn't even dare to ask. And sometimes we can be so fixated on ministry, which is not a bad thing, that we don't even pour into our own people that we call family. And I've been having to eat that for this past week, not a space of judgment, but letting the light of God realize, hey, Jared, how are we going to love them too? How can we let the world sit over here and lay ourselves down for it, but not for our family members? So I've been drawn. So this thing that we're talking about,
Yeah.
I'm living in right now. So now the
Mhm.
agreement that I made is with God, whether they agree with me. And because I'm in agreement with God, there's no condemnation that when we start walking, man, me and my brother's conversation, Jared, I'm not going to expose it, but I can tell you the freedom that he felt when he started crying and his heart started to just heal in a moment where he was reliving a deep traumatic experience he had from his childhood, and the safety that he felt because of the agreement I made with God to walk with him. And all of a sudden, now we're in connection. And
Mhm.
now him and I have agreement that, hey, no matter how we walk, I don't care about your pace. I don't care if you're limping. I don't care if you need to take a break. I don't care if we need to rest here for a few days.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk with you no matter the condition you're in.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so
Because my
beautiful.
agreement is not with them. My
Yeah.
agreement is with God. And because my agreement is with God, I now can walk at whatever pace they're in because I didn't agree with them about the pace. I agreed with God. Come on, let's go somewhere, Lord. When we agree with God about walking with people,
Yeah.
forming connection, then we can see people and see the condition that they're in the walking, knowing that they can't keep up with us.
Yeah.
And so, because I know that I'm not walking with you to keep up with you, see, this is what happens, Oren. If I'm just in agreement with the person, then the moment that they can't stay the course, I will remove myself from the walk and the agreement.
Because it becomes a disagreement.
And the disagreement is the lack of awareness. Remember, I'm not seen.
Correct.
Because I only saw agreement, but I didn't see condition.
Come on.
You got me excited today. Let's go in. Because I saw agreement. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a breakdown because I know we like to use romance, but I talk about every forms of relationship. But let's do it.
We know. Come on.
If I'm in relationship with my spouse, we all say, okay, can you commit to this? 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 Can you? So when we make this vow, can you commit to this? Right? So we have this long list of duty. And when all the things that we submit to a person, when our heart is not coming from us being in connection and agreement with God about how we walk with people first, then I am more submitted to the commitment of this person, but I have not asked them about the condition they're in the midst of the commitment.
And so it goes to that quote that you said to me months ago about anytime we what did you, it was around the belief. You said anytime we put things into people without asking them about what they believe first is malpractice. So talking about what you're saying, we're not in the curiosity. Which affects connection.
And here's the curiosity, Lauren, that you're so beautifully talking about. I'm going to God first about the curiosity. God, what is this? What is this weakness that is in them that they're not letting you be the strength of? And how can I love them in such a way that I can point to where the strength comes from so they don't have to labor in the midst of their weakness? Do you know that the majority of relationship, of how we love people, it is more about how we're talking and communicating with God about the person than we are with the person? Go write it down. How am I talking to God about the person more than I'm talking with the person about the relationship? So everybody says this, right? Common known statement. If God is not the center of it, it ain't going to work. But we think it's a list of resumes of what I've been delivered from that I now walk in the behavior of. That's not what the center is. The center of that is your own righteousness. That's not the center of relationship. And we've made our own righteousness the center of relationship. How healed you are is not the determination of relationship. Case in fact, do you think Abraham and Sarah, when they agreed to go with God, that they knew the condition that they were in before they'd go? All they knew was the comfort of being with their own people, their own traditions, their own country, their own families. That's all they knew. And then all of a sudden, when they came out of that comfort, there was a condition that was found that Abraham would dare lie to the people that she is his sister, even though she was half, instead of telling his wife because of the fear that was in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's talk about the fear of her never having a child and the lengths that she would go to have her husband to sleep with the maid person in order to bring forth in her own strength and fear and lack a thing that only God could produce. Man, if they knew that that's what they were going to go through, do you think that they would have walked together? They would have just stayed right in the country town that they only knew comfort in.
Well, let me ask you this. Tell me if you agree with this statement, with this thought process.
Yes,
and
sir.
you know, you're always safe to tell me what you think. And do you believe that God sees relationships sometimes as like our tool to help grow us?
I won't even say, I'll say this. I think relationships expose, but I don't think it grows. Those are two different things. I think relationships can show, and remember, it's what's in the person that's exposing something to me because I'm rubbing up against a closeness.
Correct.
And I'm rubbing up against familiar and unfamiliar things because they have lived a life that has produced something in them that may not be in me. Mindsets, thoughts, how they practice things. Everyone's different based on how they've done life, right? Well, that exposes things in me. But the only person who can produce the growth from what's exposed is God. If I take something that's in a relationship, that from a relationship that I have with a person, and in my own thoughts and in my own narrative and in my own understanding, I start to concoct a form of Jeremy. Okay, I need to be this because every time this person does this, it triggers me, and I should be this, only to realize you could be forming yourself into someone that God never intended to be made. So relationships are used to expose, but they don't grow. The person who grows people from what is being exposed is God, because remember where your image comes from. Your image doesn't come from what is exposed in you in a relationship. Your image comes from God. And that revelation, and I know I've been repeating it a lot, so I want to do a plug and play with practical understanding. When we understand where our image comes from, that it can only come from God, when we have moments in our human experience that starts to trigger and bring things to the light, we realize because the source of our image is God, we only go to God to form us from what has been exposed or experienced. I want to say it over time really slowly. Because we are made from the image of God only, the revelation and persuasion and truth that it gives us, that when we are walking through life as a human being and we get triggered, we get hurt, or whatever experience we have, we know that whatever is exposed in us from the harm, from the hardship, from the circumstance, for whatever has happened, the only person who can begin to iron those things out in us is God, because it's the only place our image was made from. It has not come from you trying to strengthen your way through it. It has not come from you always having a solution. It has not come from you always trying to figure out how you can make these things work. It has not come from you trying to take something out with the old, in with the new. All these things that we try to practice from our human understanding is not the thing that molds our image or sustains our image as it should be. And this is what happens, Lauren, in relationship. This is why we want connection. We're afraid to be seen because we don't depend on God to mold our image, to sustain our image, to remind us of our image and who and what we were made from as we're going through life, which is why we can't see each other. See, we're in connection. Once again, we're in agreement until the walk happens.
Correct.
Don't trip over you can trip, but you bet not stay there long. Because when I trip, I get up. You see how this happens? See how we're projecting what we think connection looks like? Because when I'm connected, if I get hurt, I just get over it. But if you get hurt, why you stay there for a few days? See, you dragging me down. Anybody who don't think like me or agree with me, I can't walk with. And you don't see that in God. Do you know all of his disciples were not in agreement with him, and yet he still walked with them? The first question he asked, he was like, we are not on the same page. Who do you say I am? And they didn't even know who he was. You can't even walk with somebody if you don't even know what they are. And God proved that he can. You don't even have to know me for me to walk with you. They didn't know. Some say that you're Moses. Some say that you're Elijah the prophet. And you know what's funny? Even when Peter revealed that you are the Son of the living God, you are the Messiah, he didn't even say, good job for reading your Bible. Let's walk together. Finally, we have one in alignment. Welcome to contestant 3. That's not what he said. He said, only my Father in heaven could have told you that. You know what that tells me, Lauren? The only way that I can remain in connection with God is for God to tell me about God. I can't even depend on what I think about God to tell me about God. God is the only person that can tell me about God. Mm-hmm. So you know what that tells me about everybody else that I walk with? God is the only person that can tell me about them. But we can't even do that, Lauren, because we haven't even sat with God to let him tell us who he thinks we are. So how can I see a person the way that God sees them when I don't even see myself the way that God sees me? Mm. Every time that we think that God has shown us something about ourselves, we go out and labor. That's how I know God ain't showed nothing to us.
Now we go out and labor.
Let's get into scripture.
Come on.
When Jesus came out of the wilderness, and the enemy tempted him, if you really are the Son of God, all 3 of his temptations was about labor. Mm-hmm. Every time Jesus responded, he says, well, it is written that my Father, and every time he revealed something about the Father, he was showing that the Father was the laborer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you caught that.
I caught it.
The evidence in our hearts, the persuasion that happens when we know that we have believed what God has said about us, the response to that is to die to labor. I don't go out and find something to do to prove that I know who I am. Mm-hmm. Mm. Did you know that in the moment? Did you know that? So watch this. As soon as you get filled with the Spirit, what does the scripture say? I cry out, Abba, Father. Mm-hmm. Right? So that we have been adopted to become the sons of God. Guess what just happened in my moment? I realized that my purpose was explained and my destiny was fulfilled, and there's nothing that I can do. Mm-hmm.
No labor.
Adopted. Do you know what adopted means? I've come into what somebody already has with no labor. That's adoption. Mm-hmm. But what we have believed is that the minute that we've been seen by God and then we are filled with him, in order to prove that I really am his child, I have to go do something.
Yeah. Perform.
And that's how we know we don't know. So if I'm in that, guess what I'm doing with the other person? The same thing.
Mm-hmm. Expecting them to perform.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's why we can't be seen. If anybody has to perform with you, you can't see them. Mm-mm. I tell people all the time, and I say this to Lauren as a joke, and sometimes I'm serious, not because she's doing anything evil. I just say all the time, I said, I will refuse to be anybody's employment in their vision of me. Mm-hmm. You can't employ me in relationship. I won't do it. You can't hire me to do something with you. I won't do it. If it does not come from the overflow of my heart, if it does not come from the depth of the desire, does it not come from the enjoyment and intimacy of walking together to do something, I will not do it, because money does not give me anything. It's a dying thing. Yeah. And somebody else gets to determine the value of it whenever they decide to. I don't even have power over money. Mm-mm. What I thought that little $10 you gave me yesterday is now worth $8.50 tomorrow. So I can't put my identity in that to determine the agreement of how we walk. Yeah. And how many relationships have ended because of the value of money? And you don't even get to decide what its value is. Somebody else does.
Mm-hmm. And my response to him is always, I'm not trying to employ you. I want to partner with you. And he became quiet because that's what it always is. And it is our running joke, but it is true that this is something that a lot of people do struggle with. And they do look at it as employing them or employing someone else. And so then that that puts pressure on them. And I do believe
Mhm.
that as we mature in our faith,
Right.
that it is important that we allow people to see God in us, and that we do
Absolutely.
ask God to give us the sight that allows us to see people as He sees them,
Mhm.
and not the version of themselves that maybe they see. Because oftentimes we always see a lower version of ourselves, and we're always our biggest critics.
Yeah.
And we're always trying to say that we're not lovable, or we're not perfect, or we're not this or that. So that way it
All the
always
time.
gives room for us to work on something.
All the time.
And I have been, and those who know me know, I have been over the years, I'm still in it, unlearning work, unlearning, like, I don't want to work that hard. Every day I'm not hustling. I don't like it.
Mhm.
I don't want
Mm-mm.
it. If it
Mm-mm.
feels like being self-employed, I mean, shout out to the 16 years I did in the finance industry. But the moment it started feeling W-2 energy for me,
Mhm. Yeah.
meaning like I'm at to call in and I gotta, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
When it's not fulfilling purpose, it's draining for me, and it's very
Mhm.
frustrating for me. And so like I've had to unlearn it, and I'm still in the season of unlearning it.
Mhm.
Because it is something that is very much so embedded in us. And so
Right.
that still rolls into
Yeah.
how we show up and do relationships.
Yep. It's everything you're saying is gold, man. And we're always in the space of unlearning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like what's so cool of like your response is like, I want to partner with you. My silence is me looking at the walking to determine what decision I make with you.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you made the decision to come back to the pod.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? Like
So
it's to look at
glad.
the walking. But once again, the silence is also me sitting with the Father and say, any vision that you submit to, I'm doing what he doing. I I don't I don't get to administer my gift whenever I want to.
That part.
I don't just do it because I have it to give. I do it because I see him doing it. Right? So
Mhm.
when you like, hey Jerry, let's do this, let's do this. The silence is, God, do you want to do that? No, you don't want to do that. I ain't doing that. Not because I don't have the strength or the energy or desire.
Correct.
I only do what I see my Father doing.
Mhm.
Remember, I'm seen.
Correct.
So if I'm seen by God, I only do what I see him doing. Well, what do I see him doing? I see him having a life for me that's already cared for, and everything that
Mhm.
is in him that is in me, and everything that is in me is in him. And I realize I have no lack. Well, if he's the only person that can produce that for me, I'm going to sit in me being seen by him more than I need to be seen by you.
Yeah.
And this is what keeps us out of keeps us in disconnection, where there's no seeing involved, once again,
Mhm.
because we're employing each other. You want to know why we're employing each other, Lord? So glad you asked. Is because people are lacking because they don't know where life is found. They keep looking to the world, and they keep looking to earthly things, and they keep looking to human flesh and human image and the way that our bodies look and the way that we dress ourselves and the things that we have. And do we have 401k? What is in your account? How well do you manage?
Uh-oh. Just Wi-Fi that. Let him go.
None of them have anything to do with life, Lauren.
There you go. You
They
paused
don't know what a life is. So if you don't know what life is, guess what you can't have? Connection. Because connection was is made to celebrate and experience life,
Yeah.
right? And if we're not doing life or in a life with the life giver, I don't care how much you love your spouse, and I'm not saying you're not having some form of connection, it ain't the fullness of the design. Because God ain't never seen no connection that he ain't the one that's being able to author it.
Yeah. And I don't want one that he's not authoring. I mean, like,
Mm-mm.
why would we want one that he's not offering? I mean,
Yeah.
authoring like that. If that's what you have subscribed to, if
Yeah.
that is your belief and that's fully
Mm-hmm.
your belief, then yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree. And it's with ease. My walk with you is a very easy one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it's easy. I don't feel like I labor.
I mean, that's the goal, right? the goal, like, I think you and I talked about this, and I might have shared this on a podcast, but one of the things that I always told God very early on, I said, God, I want it easy for people to walk with me. I want to make it easy for them. Like, how many times have we thought about that? God, I want it to be, God, how do you produce a rest in me that when people walk with me, there's an ease? Think about that. How many times have we ever gone to God to talk? I want people to feel rested, that they feel the rest that I'm in God with them.
Yeah.
Well, guess where I get that from, Lord? I didn't just come up with that because I just wanted to be a great relationship guru. I came up with that because I saw that in Jesus.
Yeah.
There was a rest that he was in with the Father that other people could be rested. And they were so exhausted from laboring in their Jewish traditions that they're like, we don't know how to rest. They were filled with anxiety. You wouldn't know how? When he's at the dinner table, he's exposing Jesus for his heart being unrested.
Mm-hmm.
He's exposing Peter. Man, God, I want to tell you, you in 3 days. And he's his mind is unrested. How can I save this man from this thing he has to endure? He's like, dude, do you know that you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows? And Jesus wasn't condemning him. He was showing that his heart was not rested.
Yeah.
When he was praying and they were asleep, y'all can't pray with me for an hour? Not rested. When they came to take him in and Peter took his sword out and slayed the man's ear, not rested.
Mm-mm.
Hey, when they came to Peter, hey, Peter, aren't you the guy who's with him? You talk like him. You sound like him. You move by him. Denial, not rested. The reason why they couldn't be at the cross, because the cross is the place where rest was discovered. It was something that was not in them.
Not they was a busybody.
Jesus was rested.
Yeah.
When you see a man dying and you don't see him crying out for him to be saved, listen, that'll do something to you. What is in him that's not in me? You start exposing something that's lacking in you. And this is why we can't do in connection. We're in agreement, but we're not in connection, because as soon as something in someone else exposes something in you, we remove ourselves.
Yeah.
If I'm truly in connection, you know what connection says? I want to stay in the light with you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to die to my familiarity with you.
Yeah.
I want to die to what I thought comfort was with you. I want to die to what I believed a life was with you.
It's letting it go.
Right? And what's so beautiful about that is, like, people have a vision of what a life is, and then another person has a vision of what life is, and they're like, if we agree, let's do life. Well, here's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you connect with anybody, parents, friends, romance, whoever, the question I'm always asking, even if our visions disagree, I'm like, hey, can we go to God and see what he says about our vision? What if the vision you have is not the vision that God has? And the only reason why we can't walk together is because you think that you have to live something now that God has never told you to live.
Mm-hmm.
Or what if I did the same thing? Or what if we're both in error? Can we go to God together and see, hey, what does it look like for our vision to be lived out through the way that you see our life? Connection and seen. What if we're wrong about everything that we thought we wanted when we show up with a person? Can we let God correct it while the person is still there?
Can we? Can we?
Do you understand?
Most people can't.
Do you understand how black and white we are with people?
Mm-hmm.
It's either this or that.
Mm-hmm.
But living in our human experience with God is really like, it's kind of a gray area.
And kind of, it absolutely is,
right?
And it's where he operates is in the gray area.
In the gray, and it's not that God is not author and finisher. Like, we understand that there's the black and whiteness to God, but there's the heart substance of God that comes, and when he labors with us, he starts to unpack things. And that's the gray that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We are afraid of letting God unpack things in front of someone else. Because here's the thing. We have not fully rested in the idea that God Jesus, who's the Lord of Lords. He sits above all things. And next to him, he's seated to the Father. And then next to the Father, next to him, we are seated. So that means that there is no higher place that I could be with anybody else. The most successful thing that a human being can do has already been fulfilled, and I didn't do anything to inherit the reward of that success. I say that I have that with him. And that person who has sat me there sees all of me. God's not in denial.
Mm-hmm.
He sees all of me as he sits me there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can I be seated in that place and then come in front of a human being and have shame?
Mm-hmm.
If that means that I have shame when I am undone in front of a human being, that means I'm not fully rested there.
Yeah.
When I'm fully rested there, I'll let God watch you turn me butt naked. Because I'm not dependent about what you see me in or what he's bringing me out of, because what he sees me in and what he's bringing me out of has nothing to do with you anyways, and I ain't depending on you to get me free of it.
No.
See how we're walking?
Mm-hmm.
When you walk with people, when they stumble, when they fall, when they have an ailment, when they have a condition, when they have a fragility, when they have a brokenness, you know what happens when you stay with them? They start to see themselves as God has always seen them. And there's a mirror that's happening. They're like, oh, the same thing that I'm experiencing, God, I'm experiencing with them. And that's how we stay.
Correct. But in order for them to be able to experience that with him, it means you need to have spent time with him to be like him, to have an understanding of him and what it looks like. Because oftentimes people are not, and this is where I get frustrated with us believers.
Mm-hmm.
We like to say what the world isn't doing. And Jairus heard me say this. We'll say what the world is doing this. Well, why are you whispering? Why is it they're yelling out foolishness, but you whispering the truth? Mm-hmm. You don't think that's ghetto?
Yeah.
I think it's extremely ghetto. Yep. When you know the truth and you'd rather whisper it and it was like, well, they out here doing that. Well, why you ain't telling them nothing? Maybe they ignorant. Maybe they cool. Maybe nobody sat them down and had this conversation. Right. But we're so busy trying to preserve what we know in the Christian faith. We're so busy trying to preserve what we know. We ain't even doing what we're supposed to be doing. At the end of the day, if we know that what he's come to do has already overcome all these other issues, and we already know all of this, then why are we not doing like Aquila and Priscilla and bringing people into the home and teaching them the truth about who God is so they don't keep looking crazy? We don't think that's crazy to me. If I know the truth of something and I know that the truth of something is going to help someone else, why would I whisper while the world loud? The world, they said that they're doing ads on Facebook right now. They're spending money, but they're really out here doing it. And the truth of the matter is, the only reason that we're not having any louder of voices because we're whispering, or we're not talking about it, because maybe we're afraid of what's going to happen if we talk about it.
Or the thing that I'm whispering about, or the thing that I'm speaking loud about, ain't the truth, so it has no effect.
Nah, you ain't lying. Because being wrong, loud and wrong. Loud, wrong, is strong.
And I would say it's more of that than the others.
I guess that's why the podcast is called Unmute Your Mic, right? Because no one can hear you if your mic's on mute.
And you mute your own mic, or your mic is muted if you're not speaking in a place of truth.
Yeah.
You can talk all day and speak as loud as you want. If it ain't your truth, then there's no liberation.
Thanks.
We're just bringing people under the perversion of things instead of into the freedom of things. And truth is simple when you ask God what it is. And then he'll show you what truth is. But a lot of the things that we're trying to declare truth is our own truth, and it's subjective.
And objective.
And Jesus's and God's and the Spirit's truth ain't none of that. That there is nothing that has happened to God to reshape what he believes about something. That's why I could never trust the opinion of a human being.
Well, the word tells us about Trust in
right?
him.
Test the spirit of
Correct.
every person.
Correct.
And what does that spirit declare? That God came in human flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And that flesh raised on the third day.
Yeah.
Only then can that reveal that that person's lens of truth is from truth itself. If that ain't there, I don't care what you declare. I don't care what you study. I don't care what you said God said to you. I don't care what you say. Ain't no truth gonna come out of that. It's not the genesis of truth.
Yeah.
Because you don't see God as he is. So we can't have connection. We don't see God as he is. And then because we don't see God as he is, then we can't connect with the God that he says he is. We're connecting with the God we think he is. Two different things. There's a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to destruction, right? Lead not on your own understanding.
Correct. In all the
right?
ways.
And Jesus talks about be aware. He didn't say be aware of the corruption that's in Rome, be aware of the government, be aware of political things, be aware of all these man-made movements. That's not what he said. Be aware of leavened bread is what he said. Leavened bread is the belief of seeing God as he is not to be.
Yeah.
I'm eating of a bread that does not come from the flesh of God. It comes from the flesh of man. If we haven't corrected that, we'll never see clearly. So you can unmute all you want. You can speak loudly all you can bring people into a home all you want. And God's like, ooh, I would take them there. That's a prison. I ain't there.
But I'm saying where he is. Like if he's here in our home, this is our home. He's here. Why would we not open the door?
Correct. And the door has been open. And what's beautiful about that is what people come to experience in whatever creative space that's been made between two people who are walking with God. The thing that they come into is the persuasion of the truth. And then when they come in, they see a display. Most people are like, I hear what you're saying. That's powerful. Oh, I've never heard that before. And the Spirit does all the work. There's no proving or provocation that we need to do.
Absolutely not.
But as we are resting in that truth has a display through us. And when people come into experience with us, they have seen that truth that was heard, and now it's made manifest in flesh. So now when we say that word is truth, who is God, and now we say it has become flesh, well, guess what God did? He did it through us.
Correct.
Oh, well, that word has to be true because that God that you're declaring about, that's what I see in you.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's how that door gets open, and that's how people come to stay in the abode, which we call the body of Christ. That's how we come into membership with each other, not just fellowship. See, fellowship is one. I love fellowship, but if fellowship doesn't produce membership,
come on,
then something is lacking in the fellowship. Like Linda, for her to jump on and continue to pour out God's truth with us, Stacy, Lucas, all of your people, we're membering together.
Yeah.
Remembering. When we jump on calls, our hearts immediately open up. We're membering. Right? So we're not just talking and communicating about something, and we're not just being animated, and when I say this word, it's not to be perverted, but aroused by something, right? Something has sparked in us to whereas we're joining together. That when we walk, like Lucas sent me a voice memo today, and y'all, I've only known Lucas for like maybe 2 to 3 months. We may have had 3 or 4 conversations, but because of the love of God that's in him and I, that truly comes from the Father, man, we talk to each other. You would think we've known each other for 10 years because we've membered outside of fellowship. Man, I just want to let you know I love you, bro. I've been thinking of you. But do you know how much that's meant to me to come from not only just a person, but another man in a week where I've been having to, I'm like, oh God, I'm tired as a man, as a person. And the way he humanized me without even knowing, because I haven't caught up with him. That's membering. I'm walking. We've joined. Right? And when the Spirit of God brings us into connection of what that looks like from his perspective, then we see everybody longing and being made and designed to be a part of that membership. Man, if we could see people like that, Lauren, we would stop categorizing where people fit in our lives and we would just let God fit us together.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry, everything didn't work out, but I just feel this way. And and we don't go to God. We're just like, oh, this isn't tickling my fancy, so I'm going to remove myself.
Correct. I'm not having fun.
Right?
Yeah.
This isn't what was on my list. Whenever we go to God and say, hey, God, is there a reason you have me connected to this person? Is there anything you'd like me to share with them? Is there something you would like me to gift them?
Mm-hmm.
What if we were made to be in membership instead of lovership? It's still lovership, it's just not romance.
Yeah.
Right? See how we discard each other, because if it doesn't come into the thing that we think it ought to be, then we walk away from connection. We had agreement until something told me I disagree. Let me get out.
Yeah.
Right? So we're in this whole generation of rejection of one another. And I'd rather go be with self.
Isolate.
Right?
Yeah.
Then go to God and say, well, God, why am I not in connection?
Yeah.
God, can I ask you a question? Do I have open eyes to see people, or am I blind? When I see people, do I see them as you are? Or do I see them from the need that I have from them? Think about this. And this is going to reveal something. And then I'm off my horse.
Okay.
Two strangers show up. The only thing that the world has told us, and sometimes the church, is if they don't have these healed components or these strengths, then I can't do life with them. Now imagine how much pressure, and imagine how inhumane this is, that this person has gone through however many years they've lived on the earth, where they've been hurt, they've been harmed, they've gone through trauma, they've gone through difficulties, they've gone through challenges. Maybe they've never been seen before. Maybe they have no idea what it feels like to be safe, to actually show all of themselves to a person. Maybe they're overachieving because they never felt like they were enough. All right. All these layers and dynamics that human beings just show up in, even when they have God, because God is still ironing stuff out. If you don't check these boxes without me knowing who you are and what you've been through first, then you are of no good to me. And wonder why we don't have connection in this generation. Like you said at the beginning, we don't even have curiosity to know someone's story. What have you been through? What are you overcoming? Yeah. What's something that's hard that you are still walking through right now? And I know that I'm a stranger to you, but can I ask this question? How can I support you? How can I encourage you? Is there anything that I can offer you? We keep forgetting that human is one.
Yeah.
But we've let the enemy believe that if it's not romantic, then we're not in human.
Correct.
If we're not in friendship, we're not in human. If we're not in family, then we're not in human. Did you know to care about to have the concern for another person, it should be the natural basic standard of being human together. I shouldn't even have to need relationship to care about your human space, to care about your humanity. We've been so divided. It's black and white. It's male and female. It's money and broke. It's you got a missing tooth. All these things we've divided each other for. We've created all these things in the sand for people to step over to prove whether or not they can exist in our world that is formed by utter disconnection, and then wonder why we're sitting in disconnection in a world that's made from what we believe about love that's incorrect, and then mad at God that he doesn't put somebody in our disconnected world
to connect.
Why would I put them there? You don't even know what connection is. You don't even come and talk to me about connection. You haven't even asked me, is what you believe about connection is right? Is another person even safe with you? Even though I'm their safety, are they safe with you?
Yeah.
I know we don't need anything, but you cannot have a relationship without safety. Listen, Lauren, I know that God is your sufficiency and God is my sufficiency. But do you have the safety with me to be exactly as you are and where you are? If so, then I can only walk with you so far. Not because people be like, oh, maybe it's just a season where God is into my relationships, and this is the desert, and I'm in the wilderness. I don't know where y'all heard that from. But we get this because once we start seeing disagreement, we think that that's the revelation of no longer walking. And that's why we can't see each other. So I'll end with this to bring it home because this is a long one. I'm sorry, but it's so good. We come into connection by first asking God, what is connection? And the first question that I'm asking God, am I in connection with you? Those answers will then come as you ask God. As God irons that out, the next question is, God, how do I connect with others? And how do you give me eyes to see them as you see them? And the agreement that I've made to walking with people is that, God, I'm talking to you about the person so that you can show me how to walk with them the way that you do instead of how I intend. When we have that, we will form the most liberating, the safest, the most love-filled, and the most full human connections that we can have, with God being the author and finisher and the image and display of it. And that's how the way God made it. So I'm sorry this was long-winded, but I asked the Lord a question. I said, you sure you want to go there? And you do. I could stay there all day. So I'm done.
So I'll say this. You can click the link in. This link here will take you to our Bible study group forum. Make sure you sign up because we're going to be revealing things in our Bible study time just to help continue to grow us and just reveal the Father, more importantly, and deepen that connection with God. But in this book that I'm reading, that is really, really good. I had to go back to this quote that he said, and I was like, man, this is so real. It says, on social media, stimulation replaces intimacy, and there's judgment everywhere and understanding nowhere. I've come to believe that the quality of our lives and the health of our society depends to a large degree on how well we treat each other in the minute interactions of daily life. So how are you treating people in the minutes of life?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna let y'all just sit with that.
Let them sit, y'all.
And that's it. This has been really great. I hope that y'all go back and re-listen to it. I know that I will go back and re-listen, but this was really good. So thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everybody who be talking on this thing. We love y'all.
Yes, thank y'all.
Go listen to this last episode. I'm just saying.
It's only 30 minutes, so y'all be blessed. Y'all got 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not long-winded in this one.
All right, we love y'all. See you next week.
Peace.
All right, I'm ending on Instagram.
That's right.